Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 10:15. Way later than I expected tonight. But I was at a funeral and I went to it early, before 6. But there was a big queue. So I went to a different town. I wanted to do a bit of shopping. Got that done. Landed back. The queue was bigger. Chatted a man in a car for a half an hour. And eventually I joined the queue at about 8 o'clock. And it was 9:10. I was nearly the last one in the queue, but to the funeral I had to get to, otherwise I'd have to go to the Mass on Monday, and I can't because I'm going racing. So these things have to be done. So I'm way behind time, and I missed out on a few hours study for Monday and tonight and that. So, and 'twas parish. I should have brought a skipping rope with me, but it'd be a bit unmannerly or rude to take out a skipping rope in a queue for a funeral, but 'twas bitter cold standing there. I hope I don't pick up a head cold after, but there's a fair chance I will. Today, I had much luck. As the song says years ago, my mum had said to be days like this. Too Friendly was first, finished 5th, just out of the money. I thought it was a rock solid chance to be in the first 4. Not sure what happened. I don't think they went fast enough for it. It's So Fury didn't stay, it seemed. Spirit Mixer wasn't fit, and our buddy Wise Eagle was. I thought he'd need the run first time out, and he pounced and came 1. And Metier that needs soft ground was 2nd. That's, I thought, ground dependent with heavy ground. Champ Degane, you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. He hasn't. He done the same thing today. He nearly took offence with him. The only thing he learned was he learned not to fall. And Verdant Place got caught on the rail, but a well-handicapped horse hosed up. That was a plot job. Seldom do you see that coming from Gavin Crummel's yard, going to another yard and hosing up twice. It's down tomorrow to run again. I see his 40s into 16s, but I don't know whether they run it or not, but didn't break a lot of sweat today. I missed some of the races by going away there this evening, and we have to see about tomorrow. Fairyhouse, the group, or the grade 1, the novice chases tomorrow. Mighty Potter trying to redeem himself after a lackluster veering right effort in Cheltenham. I think there's a bet in this race. Without the favourite, I was looking at it. Flame Bearer 4-1 without the favourite, 9-1, 8-1 to back it each way. The reason being is going right-handed. It seems to be way better going right-handed, and it likes Fairyhouse. Won a bumper in Thurles, right-handed. Won a bumper in Limerick, right-handed. Won in Fairyhouse in last January, or over 12 months ago. Won again in April. Beat Hador. That was a grade 2 race, and to second to Punches to Stateman in Punchestown in the grade 1. They're all right-handed. Won in Naas as well, which is left-handed, and was 3rd to Braun. Then it won a chase in January this year, 38 lengths in Fairyhouse. Went left-handed in twice, and it wasn't near the horse. Back to a right-handed track the last time, and it hosed up. So is it? I'm just thinking it may be. I was impressed by the lash of the way it jumped and travelled. Sir Gerhard is prone to mistakes. Had a tough enough race in Cheltenham, 3 miles. Flame Bearer is fresher. Appreciated as well. Hard old race. So I thought that was the best. Now I'd like to see Mighty Potter because I was on him, and myself and the Stig, we like Mighty Potter a lot. But I always look at a race to see how can I make a pound on it. So I thought Mullins has 6 out of the 9. there'll be fair tactical talk at the breakfast table, you'd imagine, in Clonsutton tomorrow morning, or the dinner table tonight. So they'll be trying to win that. You don't know what'll Mighty Potter's mood be tomorrow after what happened. There must have been something niggling him or something, because he veered violently to the right, coming up the hill. So Flame Bearer for me, that's a bet, an each way bet, and 4-1 without the fav. Then the other grade 1 is the 235, the Mayor's Novice. One of my strongest bets for Cheltenham would have been Ashroe Diamond, just taken out the morning of the race. Not sure why. There wasn't a totally big reason given. I think even the owners were surprised, or so I heard. Magical Zoe was second in Cheltenham, so we don't know how Ashroe Diamond would have fared out that day. So she had the rest of them behind. Now, she has 3 wins and a second, but if you look at her form, she was ahead there of Hake de Tabert, or whatever you pronounce it. And that was behind Ashroe Diamond. So, I know it's 2 different races, but there's just a little bit of cross form there that suggests that Ashroe Diamond, it's between the 2 of them. But I'll be on Ashroe Diamond tomorrow. Step Up and Trip should suit to second or third in Marine Nationale in the Royal Bond, and then it was behind Facile Vega. It won the last time, but it got into a bit of a pocket, but it be able to get out of it. So that was 2 miles 2, extra 2 furlongs. So beyond that, I'll be on the win bet with Ashroe Diamond, and I'll be doing a reverse forecast with Ashroe Diamond on Magical Zoe. We'll see how Princess Zoe runs. There was a bit of controversy over the ride it got the last day, so we'll see. The 310 is a grade 2, 2 miles 4. We backed Dr. Bravo. I backed him first time out when he won in Fairyhouse in his bumper. A grade 3 against older horses. The Red Mills. It was behind Sharjah and Field Door. That's why I was on it each way at 20-1 or 22-1 and 25. That in Cheltenham it was 8. It was only beaten 11 lengths. So that was 5-1 earlier. I see it's into 130, 7-2. Willie's horse in the Donnelly colours. Won well the last time, to second prior to that, and to third at high definition. But anyone that wants to be better than that, I'd have Dr. Bravo in the 2 o'clock, a small each way on Neveradullmoment. We were on this the last time, well, the last twice. We were nutted by a nose the day we were on at 7-1. Went off 5-2 joint favourite. Left with too much to do. But both of its last runs were over 2 miles. It's up to 2 miles 4 tomorrow. And the reason I chose this the time before that was on its 4th to Green Glory in that race at Christmas. And back up and trip again tomorrow. Paying 5 places. 7.5-1. I have to do one in England tomorrow. One of our horses, a bus horse, done us a turn a couple of races, 3 races back. Now, we didn't go for it the last time because it was in the Imperial Cup, but it hosed up that time in Haydock, and then it didn't run so well the time next. But in the Betfair, the Imperial Cup, it's behind the grey horse there in third place, but this is over 2 miles and it's better as a longer trip.
From Monvielle in second place, and then on the far side, Fine Casting is staying on well from ICO. Over the second last, Knickerbocker Glory has led all the way so far, 4 or 5 lengths clear of Fine Casting, and then the grey Monvielle, and now ICO is picking up well for Harry Cobden as they race on towards the final flight, and ICO joins Knickerbocker Glory, and ICO takes it up at the final flight. He knocked it halfway down. ICO, Knickerbocker Glory, Fine Casting, Monvielle, Playful Saint stays on behind those, but up towards the line, ICO kicks 3 lengths clear of Knickerbocker Glory, and it's ICO who will win the Betfair Imperial Cup. Knickerbocker Glory.
Carrying top weight tomorrow, but it won at 2.5 before. That was over 2 miles, that race. But it won in the time it won for us, it was 2-3. And that was heavy ground the last day, and it won on heavy before in Ffos the 16th December 2021, hosed up. So the ground shouldn't be a problem. Weight does stop a train, all right, they say, but it's back down to a class 3. That could be a bet tomorrow. In Cork, there's a nice little grade B handicap hurl there. We were on Codahorla the last day in
with 2 to jump.
Fairyhouse.
Picked off by Lyser. Codahorla follows Lyser through. Driving Jerry on the outside, then Mr. Saxa beaten Dutch Schultz and Spirit of Legend and Crabat as they draw towards the second last, and it's Lyser. And on the outside, Codahorla, they're over together, flicking through at Codahorla, but it's Lyser in front. In between the final 2 flights from Codahorla, in third is Mr. Saxa beaten at the last. It's Lyser over by less than a length to Codahorla. It's these 2 inside the final 200 yards. It's Lyser and Codahorla well clear of a triumvirate, battling out for third. And it's Lyser and Michael O'Sullivan in front from Codahorla, Nathan Kelly. Lyser by a neck to Codahorla. Well.
We were on Codahorla that time. I was saying he was well handicapped, but the fact that they pulled away so far suggests he's up £9, but he's still. I think he was 7-2 earlier on, but the markets will settle down and in the morning. Spillane Tower, first time in a handicap, would be the big danger, I would imagine. The reason being, it was second to Imagine, and Imagine ran in the, come on, it was only a head behind it. No, you wouldn't, would you? Why would you? I get the mallet. I'll try it once more. Oh, jeez, wasn't that sick? No. But it could be well handicapped at 126. Imagine is 138 and it ran in Cheltenham, fairly decent. We have an old bus horse. Tomorrow, West Breeze was going well the last time. He won for us 2 races ago, and then we didn't go the last time with him. We went on the horse that was 4th, Pat's Choice, but it was going well when it fell a couple out. might have a chance, in each way a chance tomorrow in that. But the Grand National is on Monday. And just to look at it today, I've come down on Panda Boy, 7-year-old carrying Tinstone 6. I love 7-year-olds. He's 10-1. I backed him there earlier today with Ladbrokes. And I backed to the quarter of the odds with William Hill there. I'm paying, seeing this 9-1 now, paying 6. But we back to the last day and it was going well and it fell. And it was third in the Paddy Power Cup. But this would be better on soft ground. And even on heavy ground, I think it'd be even better again. And so will the Devil's Coachman. But the Devil's Coachman, it takes them a good while to get into the rhythm. But if you look at when it beat Winter Fog, that was on soft ground, hosed up that day. And it hasn't encountered soft ground, only a couple of chases, but they aborted they were trying to get a handicap mark. But it was yielding ground the last couple of times. But if it's soft, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. I know it means it's not going to Castlebar tomorrow because it's supposed to rain all day. I don't know how true that is. But if it rained, it says that yielding to soft, the chase is soft. If it stays soft, the Devil's Coachman will relish the heavier ground. But Panda Boy and Angel's Dawn, we won on Cheltenham and we won 2 races on him. And Espinito Bello as well, we had a win on him the last day as well. So Royal Pagile was running, so that's and he'd relish heavy ground as well, because if it's good ground they wouldn't be running him. That's why they're coming over. But Panda Boy would be the main choice, and the Devil's Coachman and Espinito Bello, because they won us money. So we're playing back the winnings. Similar case with Angel's Dawn. I'll definitely go on tomorrow. I'm not going to catch the bear. If it's piss and rain, I don't go to the stand. I go the other side, and I'm not going to stand out I'd rather go to the races and get half wet than getting wet at the GA. It'll be a tough game tomorrow. I think we're big underdogs. I was playing poker last night. I was Galway. There had a man come. He watched the video. He came in from Connemara. He was playing. He spotted me, and we chatted. Tom Mack, good man. He said he just bet small and went big with the channel. So it was good to hear that. And he was doing well. I was doing great too for about 4 hours. I was chip leader at the table I was at, and doing mighty in seat 7. I love seat 7. It's my lucky number. And then I was moved. Table broke up and I was moved to seat 9. I hate seat 9. And ran into a couple of big hands. Pocket Kings against Ace 10. Flop came 10-10 rag. And I walked into it. I lost 40 or 45,000. And then a while later, same thing. Big hand. He rivered a queen to hit a straight. And I got knocked out. Then I jammed towards the end. King Jack against 9-8. All I had left was a 10.5 or 1,000. The blinds were 1-2 at the time, which was 2,000 ante. So you were losing 5,000 every time. 6,000 between the. But good crowd. Not as good crowd as other nights, but enjoyed it. But didn't play cash afterwards. I was home at about 2:30 and I watched a couple of races from Ranwick. Dubai Honour was very impressive. The other one from England, Haggis is her. Usually with Haggis. Hadn't ran since last July, needed the run for sure. Can't think of the name of it. It was in the second last race. Won a Group 1, I can't remember. Anyway, I'm rattling on. Bash the bookies over and out.